On Tuesday, April 24th, Roanoke County staff presented a draft budget to the Board of Supervisors for the upcoming fiscal year. County Administrator Clay Goodman presented the majority of that information to the board and is here now to provide an overview of what this new budget includes. Clay, thank you so much for taking the time to share this information with us. With all of the state uncertainty that's been going on, probably, I guess, since January, it must have been such a relief to get to that Tuesday and be able to present the draft budget to the board.
Yes, it was. The board had delayed the submittal of our actual proposed budget because of the General Assembly actions on the budget. So they allowed us to wait until the General Assembly reviewed the budget and enacted it last week, quite literally. And so we were able to submit the budget with as much information as we had from the update from the General Assembly, and that helped tremendously.
I know, though, you still, from this point forward, over the next month, will still be fine-tuning some of the numbers.
That's correct, because whereas we were aware that the General Assembly had adopted the budget, we hadn't seen the final actions of the General Assembly in the various reports that we get from the state and VML and VACO. So we'll be updating our budget and confirming numbers as those numbers roll in from Richmond.
Well, I know that the state has been certainly a challenge for you, but you also had some guidelines that you had to adhere to in putting the draft budget together for the board, including no tax increase at all for citizens.
Yes.
How, given that you had these priorities, how were you able to put together a draft budget given all of the uncertainty plus increasing energy costs? That had to be very difficult at times to crunch all those numbers.
Well, the board has had basically four objectives or goals in the budget preparation. One is, like you said, was to avoid tax increase, which we've done. The Board of Supervisors has adopted the tax rates for the coming year, and they're the same that we have for this year and the prior years. And that's $1.09 per hundred assessed value for real estate, $3.50 per hundred assessed value for personal property, and $3 per hundred assessed value for machinery and tool. Those have remained the same. They want us to work and minimize impact to direct services to our citizens, and also they want us to maintain our commitment to education and public safety. And also they want to avoid laying off employees and so forth. We believe we've done it in this budget, and we were able to do it because first, the General Assembly, as they had enacted the budget, provided some relief to local governments in regards to the implementation of the VRS rate increases. That has given us some resources that we did not anticipate at the time, and we've been able to utilize that to help us to balance the budget this year.
Very good news.
Yes. We also went to our departments and asked them to reduce their operating budgets of about $1.2 million, which further helped us. And those type of things have been very helpful in us meeting the objectives of submitting the budget in compliance with the directions from the Board of Supervisors.
Everyone pulled together pretty much.
Absolutely. We worked, we had many meetings with various department directors and individuals, departments, heads, and so forth. Our budget team worked throughout the process trying to keep updated with the information from Richmond. So I think we all pulled together and tried to present the budget in accordance with the directions from the Board of Supervisors.
Exactly. And speaking of the departments and some of the cuts that they had to make, very few of those will be felt by the citizens. I think the departments did a very good job in trying to make sure that they also adhered to the board's priorities. What are the ones that, some of the impacts, though, that citizens might notice, as small as they are?
There's a couple, but they are small in impacts, which was one of the directives from the board. The first one is that currently citizens may lease or use overnight, reserve the use of two of our trailers that we call freeloaders, where you can we take them to your home. You're allowed to fill them up with acceptable material, and then we'll pick it up the next day and dispose of it. The discussions now is that we're talking about the possibility of charging for that service of approximately $100 for a 3-day use of the facility. Another item we discussed was in the reassessment office. Other localities in the area that when you don't see a change in your reassessment, they don't send the notice out. So we were talking about implementing that. And there was some delaying equipment purchases at the library and so forth, and other materials that allowed us to see some savings in that department also. So those are a few of the things. And we'll be discussing those in more detail with the board as we go through this process.
And communicating that information.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I know one of the things that made you extremely proud, as well as the board and the staff, is that the county was able to maintain level funding for the school system, and that's a big part of our budget as well.
Yes, it's very important to run a county board of supervisors that we support education, and the school system in Roanoke County is outstanding, and we want to maintain that system, and we were able to report that we can provide them level funding, and we hope that will help them to meet their needs as they move through their budget.
I know that was very big for you and for the board. Tell us a little bit about the fact that pay increases or cost of living increases are included in this budget. A lot of times people may not be able to understand why that was important to the board and important to administration.
Well, we have outstanding employees that work for us at Roanoke County. Our employees are the frontline providers of service to our citizens. Without our employees, we cannot provide the services that we do to the citizens. It's very important. We can have all the equipment, all the vehicles, and so forth, but without the individuals that provide a good level service to the citizens, we just can't meet their needs. So I thought it was very important that we did something for our employees. It's been 4 years since they've had a raise. We have had bonuses on 2 occasions, and that's very appreciative of the board providing that. But we're hopeful that with this year, with the opportunity we have, we can move forward, and I recommend a 3% raise for our employees.
Okay. There's been a lot of information that we have covered. I know that it's been a priority of yours and the board's to make sure that the citizens were informed, and a lot of the information that we just covered, actually probably all of it, is actually on the Budget Department's website.
Yes, when I came here, when we started working together, we decided that it's important for our citizens to know, so we've been utilizing the website, and I hope the citizens will refer to that and see the opportunity. We also have the opportunity to provide comment through the website.
Right, that's
so
different.
as you review the material, we would ask that you provide your comment so we can relay it to the Board of Supervisors. We want our citizens involved. We want them to know what's going on, and we're doing what we can to ensure that we give them the information so that they can be informed about what's going on with their government.
And there will also be a public hearing for citizens to comment on the budget at a board meeting as well.
Yes, the public hearing for our proposed budget is planned for May 22nd at 7 o'clock that evening.
And final adoption June 12th?
With the board's approval, the final adoption will be June 12th.
All right. Well, again, that's a lot of information to cover. Clay, thank you so very much. And that website for citizens to go to for more information on the budget development process and where we are at this point is RoanokeCountyVA.gov/budgetinfo. And thank you so much again, Clay.
Thank you.
And stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.